Good thing coffee's making right now. So, yeah, we're going live now. So, let's talk real quick. BFD, big drums. They're definitely big. They're definitely drums. Something that sold me on it from the very beginning. I've been watching George Carlin since I was a little kid. And it's like, what does BFD stand for in the frequently asked questions under BFD one? It's like, well, they're definitely big and they're definitely drums. And their second pack was XFL. Well, it's definitely extra and it's definitely large. They also had BFD Deluxe and maybe percussion or they didn't have like a ton of packs, but I mean that's BFD one. And I've just been in love with the company ever since. Superior Drummer was more of a set of at the time contact instruments that I didn't like. This was more like actually just an instrument that had like your drums and shit, and you could see everything, and it's exactly what I was looking for. I couldn't get it at the time, but I got BFD2 as soon as possible. I was going to become a BFD dealer. I tried Addictive Drums. I tried Tune Track, Easy and Superior. I tried all of them. I've tried as many. I tried them. I tried the ones for Contact. I tried 8 Dio. I mean, if they were for Contact, whatever they are, I've tried them because it means a lot to me. I mean, the difference between a really good song and a pretty decent song, it usually comes down to listen to Kurt's tone. It's not great. It comes down to how good the drums are being played and how good they sound. Almost all music comes down to, I mean, when you're talking about like music that's actually popular with people, like how tight is your drummer and how good is the drum set sound back there? Because believe it or not, no matter, I mean, your singer, yes, he has to connect with people, but if that boom bap is not hitting, no one's listening. Doom, ta, doom, doom, ta. Whatever that is, that has to be there and it has to be rock solid, man. Or somewhere close. It has to at least blend with the music properly. Yeah, yeah, yeah's drummer is I won't say like rock solid. He's tight. He's good, and but he's more jazz. You know what I mean? I love his playing. I'm not trying to shit on it at all, but that's what yeah, yeah, yeah's need. They have. They started doing a bit more of that kind of more of disco type stuff later on their last one. It's Blitz, I believe, but definitely on those are Fever to Tell and whatever. There's some great albums, and their drummer is amazing. And for a three-piece band that doesn't have a bass player, I mean, it's kind of like you're harkening back to, Doors days where they went out on stage. They didn't have a bass player either. Just Ray Manzarek just played the bass part on this. He said two, two. Screw it, it worked out. But one of the things that really started hooking me on BFD were the different expansions out there available. Let's take a quick look. It's not just okay. We'll take a quick look at boom. So these are the expansions that are available from BFD. Now I don't know if they still accept third party anymore because when I got it, BFD2 was willing to work with third party people, and that's what I was going to. I'll get into that in a second. So you got Jazz Noir, that's really good. Wooden Snares is really good. Vintage Recording, it has a lot of those techniques from old school, like the Glenn Johns technique. There's some very old vintage style and some very old vintage drum kit. You can get some of those actual the way they used to record drums back in the old day with the actual kind of Michaels, the Bloom line. Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff. It has there and has the presets to get you so you can just go ahead and load it up for the style. On and on. I've got that kit, but I mainly use it for the kit. I usually don't usually set up for that style of whatever because that just doesn't matter to me. Just like what I'll show you later, the Black album. This is the drum kit inspired by the. But if you actually go and watch, they actually went to. That guy. He worked on the Black album. That was a drum tech on the Black album, where the recording. That is the studio. That is the drum kit that they rented from rented Lars Ulrich. He did took a different kit on whatever, but the one that they used in the studio, the Gretsch they used in the studio, that's it. In the studio, that's the studio they recorded it at. Simone Cohen recorded this there. You can watch the whole video, and they go through it and tell all the stuff it does, all the stuff that they did. They got the same people now. The studio's owned by different people now, and it's not the '90s anymore, right? So, I mean, there's new techniques that they use to record it, but they made sure to keep, this guy was the drum tech. They used to capture what they did for that Black Album, some of the room traps and stuff like that, all that stuff. But you have that type of thing going into like the vintage techniques, the snares, the Schleichman drums. These are, man, those are dope sounding. The Sphere is really, really good. Swan, really amazing. All these packs are really percussion, dude. It's so good. Modern retro, another Simone Cohen. Yamaha oak. Okay, let's see the oak custom, the maple custom, the Jex, the I think the jazz and funk, the jazz maple custom, the heavy, which is the recording custom. There's a bunch of them that are, and I think the cocktail. Those are all Yamaha kits. So if you get, there's a certain model. Mike had it. If you have the model of that Yamaha, where when they sampled these, you get the MP3s of all these kits. That's why they sound that kit sounds so good. They sampled the kit. I guess BFD sampled the kit. They got licensed to do that, and then they got the MP3s or a slider, a smaller version of. I mean, 'cause, like this got 127 velocities. I really doubt they crammed that much information onto the brain, but on the brain was all actual Yamaha drum sounds that were sampled for this. Do you have as much control? No, but you do have a Yamaha snares because they have a whole. Where's the snare pack? Fuck, there's a snare pack. Here's like a Yamaha snare pack 1 and 2, or maybe there's just one. I don't remember. No, that's Modern Drummer snares. That one, I do have that one, but that's just that Modern Drummer magazine picked a bunch of snares and they sampled them. They sampled it because it was they were listed as Modern Drummers, best snares. There's a Mapexes. There's a bunch of really good snares in there. Signature snares. There it is. This is volume one, and you have snares from people that use their signature models. They're beaten with beaters, sticks, brushes, mallets, and rods. Right now, $24. Normally $49.99. I got mine on sale for like about $50 because I think they were going for. No, it might have been that much. I know that these were like half. I get them at half off sales. These were going for 150 and 150. This was like 100. But since they've been bought by music, and music didn't have, they just bought the whole company. They didn't have to really sample all this stuff, so they don't have the respect. That's the problem. They have the money. They don't have the respect. Ron Donette sampled this. This is Ron Donette's titanium kit. The Donette titanium. No one else sampled this at the time. Now, whatchamacallit has a Tune Track now has it, and I think some of these packs have been sold over it probably to cover the cost. If you look at Tune Track, a lot of their packs are very kind of similar to these now. Everything that BFD would do, man, you can bet your ass within a little while, Tune Track was putting out something very, very similar. I mean, these go back like 8-bit. This go back to like BFT 1. Yeah, I had that. I just, there's a lot of stuff like BFT, what's it called? El Dorado. Where are you at? Are you in order? Probably not. El Dorado is the first kit that came, the first pack that came with BFD, and I still use it to this day. London Session, that's the sound pack for BFD, the built-in for BFD2. Marching drums, that was marching drums and orchestral. It was marching drums and orchestral. It was $150 for, it was BOM, big orchestral marching band. Big orchestral marching band. They split it up into two different packs, 24, 49 and 49. It was $150. I mean, people weren't buying it. I bought it because it's got, dude, look back there. It's got timpani drums. It's got all kinds of, and I was doing music soundscaping and stuff, for movies and shit. So local movies, nothing huge. Don't think I'm like, oh, I'd actually work for no, there's nothing huge. I do what I do, and I get shit done, and this helps me do it. Timpani drums, tuned to all kinds of different stuff. If I want to turn, I've got my entire kit. I can tune it all to like all the same the key or whatever. Doom, 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 doom. I can play with like if there's a song backing up in the background, and I just accent the E, A, G, F, doom, 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 doom. And I can do that and set that on a loop every time it comes through there, and it's just part of the kit. It's really, really, really cool. It's really cool what you can do. But these are just the packs that come with, and I have all these and more for the BFD regulars. So the third party, we start getting into platinum expansions. Now, platinum, you get Andy Johns. Andy Johns is the guy that recorded and got the sound that we know as the John Bonham Bonzo when the levee breaks. Look, here he is. He talks engineering. He is completely wide. I mean, I recommend watching these. He is wide open. I think he might be at the later part of his years because he has a lot when he's talking, and they try and cut some of it out. He might have smoked too much. I don't know, but he just gives away all of his information. I mean, he's not holding anything back like the secret. He tells all of his little secrets here. And maybe he's like, whatever. I'm like, that is so cool that someone that would be that legendary. They recorded all of I believe almost all, if not all of them, almost all of Led Zeppelin's shit. I mean, what more do you want for? I mean, they have they used to have like the credits, like what albums they're known for. They used to have that here. I guess they took that away because I mean they've changed some of this stuff up. But I mean, to give you an idea, so Andy Johns, all the stuff he did. Okay, there it is. Led Zeppelin one, Led Zeppelin two, three, four, Physical Graffiti, Exile on Main Street from Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers, Van Halen for Unlawful Common Knowledge, Eric Clapton, Joe Cocker with a little help from my friends, Joe Satriani, and Godsmack. His full discography. That's just some of the stuff he's done. Look, L.A. Guns, various artists, Godsmack, Cult, Cinderella. So these people thought Mott the Hoople, Godsmack. They thought he was good enough to fucking record. You know what I mean? All these people. 2002, 98, 97, 96. Look, man, Steve Winwood, Bon Jovi, Van Halen. He's worked with some of the best fucking people ever, and now he made a pack that I can load up what he thinks are his best drums. Let me give you a quick little. I mean, if I can, I don't know if they have pictures of the actual kits. But although he's passed, I can basically call him up anytime I want to and say, hey, can you come work on my thing? And he's like, yeah, I'll pack up all my favorite snares and toms and I'll be right over and we'll work as long as you need to. And my favorite mics. And tell you what, I'll just go ahead and bring my favorite studio and everything for recording drums. Look at this, man. That's a prototype Yamaha. It's not released yet. It says right there, Matt Storm signature prototype, unreleased, rare. I've got it. I've got a sample. Do I have the actual thing? No, but I have that sound sample, so I can bring that in. All these, and that's just a little bit, and they were right. Platinum sample, not drum gallery, drum porn. This is, look at this. All these are in the packs that I have. I've got every pack from Platinum Samples. So I've got this. I know that one. That's Jim Scott. I know all. I've seen all these. That also is Andy John. That's what the I mean the. I want to say that's the Bonham kit. I can't be sure, but anyways, yeah. There's like I think there's a yeah. There's a Tama that's like this one, the Rosewood. I think that's actually a Stuart Copeland snare. I won't swear by it, but we're just in snares, and then we got kicks of DW, of fucking Pork Pie, and it just keeps going and going, dude. I mean, these right here, I remember these is the Silver Sparkle. These were from, is that any? No, that's, yeah, that's Andy John's kit also. Man, it's amazing, and there's so many times. Like, he did them all there, and then he also did them with, not that, but he also got the pinstripes on them, too. He got the coated heads and the pinstripe heads. So it's not just one kit. He got one kit with different, oh, it's amazing, dude. It's really amazing. Pork pie. I mean, all the different symbols. And not to mention the fact, I think that you saw the symbols that I showed, that like the symbol packs. There's a Paiste, there's a Zildjian symbol pack 1, Zildjian 2. There's Bosphorus symbols. And then all these come with each kit that you get. There's a ton of symbols that come with each pack. Andy Johns has a ton of cymbals and hi-hats. Joe, everybody. Joe Barresi has a ton of cymbals and hi-hats, what they think go good with what they've got. Some of them have percussion pieces, some of them don't. Some of them have resonators that go in front that are mic'd individually. So you get the kick, and then you can link it to this, so it triggers this to trigger also. So it's just like having, like they're stacked right here, you can do that. You can stack that shit. You can do that, or you can get rid of it if it's too bassy. It's really amazing what BFD can do. And I just don't know any other drum program that can do it this easily and also allow you to switch your kit and do everything with that, whatever. And this old thing. Look at this. Look at that. Look how light the freaking. What's that? What's that stem coming out? What's that gonna hold? What are those kickstands gonna hold up? You know how old this damn kit's probably got to be? A Kent? I can't tell you how old this fucking kit is. This one is like their old acid. It's their psychedelic kit, like when you buy as a kit 5. And it's got all these weird, messed up pieces. Like it's not a matching kit at all. And you have to, I think that's the snare for it. You have to buy the actual pack through them because in order to keep from hacking, people hack and stuff. In order, if you want to get pack 5 with that punk, they call it their punk kit, which I use it on several things for like when I'm doing. I think fuck it, if it's gonna be a punk kit, I'm gonna use it on some punk stuff. And I did it on Merry Christmas. I Don't Want to Fight Tonight, the Ramones cover. Hell yeah. Um, that's Chad Smith's right there. Chad Smith's kick. That's Steve Ferrone's snare. That's Steve Ferrone's kick. That's Chad Smith's snare. Chad Smith's snare right there, and his toms. I recognize it. I know this kit, man. I've been through this enough times. I know, and it sounds good. Shit sounds good. That coffee smells good. I'm about to go do that. Oh yeah, it does. Steve Ferrone's kit. And the thing is, it sounds like that kit, and then you can adjust the tone to match your song. You know, it's just they just recorded that kit as it sounds. They don't like this was like this. Let's go to other people. Joe Barresi, who has recorded Queens of Stone Age, Bad Return. Look at it. And he used all his techniques that he knows to make this pack, to make it sound really, 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 really ridiculously good. And you can check out the different. Now, even if you're thinking that's not the way I want mine to sound, it sounds pretty good. But I would, yeah, you'd EQ it, right? Yeah, so would I. And that's the thing about BFD. You're not just stuck with what they would give you, the EQ. You can EQ it. And again, Joe Barresi is, technically works on all, from time to time, he works on my drums. Andy Johns, from time to time, cleans up my drums. Joe Barresi, Jim Scott, Henry Hirsch, all these people, from time to time, work on my drums. Boom. Worked with Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, at his own waterfront studios. Look, this is where it was recorded at, using a Helios console and Ampex M1000 tape recorder. Well, I don't have that, and that's going to sound a whole lot better, whatever he's doing, than any drum set that I'm going to have in my house recording. Whatever he's doing, even if it's sampled at several different velocities, let's just give it a check. Will I use it at all times? Probably not. But will I use it for something? You know what? This has got a kind of a Hendrixy feel. Why don't we go ahead and get like a Mitch Mitchell kit in there? Yeah, why not, man? We've already got the songs done. Let's just do a remix and let's call it the Hendrix mix. Sure, I'll just go nuts on the solo. Why not? There's nothing stopping you. Jim Scott. That poster's on my wall, man, because there's the fucking Pearl Ludwig Tom kit on acid. It's a Pearl Ludwig combo thing, man. I told you it's just, and yeah, that way I tell you about the snare. There it is. That's that snare I told you with all the tape on it. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Three drum kits, play with all 25 drums, 25 drums and cymbals. See, I mean, like this is just volume one. Volume two. Volume one has 40 drums and cymbals, 59 drum and cymbal choices, includes yeah, Chad Smith, Steve Ferrone, as many as 256 velocity levels. That's why I love it because it sounds very, very realistic. If you have the right type of kit to trigger it, and I've got an E kit, so I'm not bothering the neighborhood by pow pow pow. But I'm not bothering anybody else either. Like I can play it late at night, just banging on my little E kit because I'm just in this house by myself. You know, whatever time of day I'm doing it. Like right now, I'm just doing this real quick before I head to town. I gotta go get some more chocolate. I've got my oil is strong enough, but don't have any chocolate, so I gotta go to town and get the chocolate, mix the oil up, and come back here and get a little bit more mixed up. So while we're down that, we did that. We checked these out here, and again, Joe Barresi. He's not gonna change over. That's right. No one's gonna. You can't change anybody if they don't want to change. Alan Parsons. Anyone familiar with that name? You should be. You should be very familiar with it. Alan Parsons, Silver Sparkle Kit. Alan Parsons Vintage 70s Kit. Alan Parsons Black Oyster Kit. Hugh Padgham Big Feel Kit. Now this is like the drum kit, the sound that you get from In the Air Tonight. If you turn off the trick that made it happen, which is actually was an accident, it's just a Premier kit. It's not. It's just the company is Premier. It's just a Premier kit. It's not. It doesn't have that whole big old sound, and you can use it. And again, if you don't like the room noise, adjust the room mics and stuff. Turn them up and down. They need more room. Turn the room mics up. You can do all that inside this. It's just and it's very easy to do. Nick Mason's kit, the one that from the Dark Side of the Moon. See? Nick Mason, they went and recorded with Nick Mason and Alan Parsons went to where they recorded Dark Side of the Moon, used the same stuff they had, the same gear, and recorded. Look, they talk about it. They got videos. Go check it out. They talk about it. Let's listen. So anyone going for the authentic vintage sound? Well, does it get more authentic than the actual guy playing the drums? That was him playing the drums to sample all the different velocities. So when you hit at 25 velocity or 127 velocity, you're using his strike. You're playing him. Let's wrap your head around that. You're not just rapping. You're not just playing a sample. You're rapping. You're using Nick Mason as an instrument. Just picture as you're swinging your arm, Nick Mason recording his striking the drum for that sample, and you'll get what I'm talking about. As you strike your pad, Nick Mason struck the snare that triggered the sound so you're playing Neil Peart. You're using him as an instrument, whether you're using it through MIDI. And see, the dope thing is, like, if I'm working on a song and I'm like, man, I want to change the kit up. I don't want to use this kit anymore. I don't have to go buy another kit. I don't have to do shit. The song's already done. I just go through one of these things and go, what kind of kit defines this song? Billy Cobham. Yeah, that's his kit right there. That was a clear one. I made a mistake. It wasn't what's it called. That's a clear kit. He's got a Native American drum on his kit. You know, like I said, some of them have percussions. It's just dope, dude. It's so fucking sick. Bob Seidenberg. Images. Oh, there's more info, but no more images. Yeah. And some of them sound very vintagey. I won't say crappy, but I mean, come on, if you're really trying to go to like a 70s sound, they actually recorded with 70s equipment. Do you have that at your house? No, I don't. Can I try and emulate it? Sure. Or I could just go ahead and trigger this, which I mean, I want it. What needs to happen is they need to have an improvement of the drum kit because this has more samples than you can actually trigger at any one point in time. So you can get a much more realistic drum kit. It's not that they didn't sample all the different parts of it. They got all the parts. It's just kit right now can support all the different things that they've done. I would like to change that, and I know how to. But yeah, the whole entire Ken Scott, like he did all these ones, all these Ken Scotts, Billy Cobham, Bob Seidenberg, Morgenstein, 70s, 60s downbeat. Wasn't this one? Yeah, Elton John. This one's like the Beatles type. Terry Bozzio, Woody Woodmansey, and then the whole entire Ken Scott collection, $100. All of those. $100. This is $25. This is $25. This is 25, 25, Alan Parsons. And I'm the only reason I'm going through this is because I mean, I love BFD so freaking much. It's gotten really ridiculous how like inexpensive the stuff is. Like when I was in with especially with BFD2 and whatever, they were I guess they were holding their guns that they are the best and they knew it because these packs didn't used to be that cheap, not even half off. So I mean, every now and again you might catch a sale for like about like $29. And that's what I paid for like a lot of them. Other times I just had to pay the full price. But I mean, totally worth it until we're not gonna get into that. So, but that's why BFD means so much to me is because it can do so much, and it's like if you listen to any of my old music before, like Música para los Muertos or anything like that, you'll hear like the drum machine back there, and I played in the 90s. I played the drums, but it was always hard to get something to trigger the drum kit. I eventually got a Yamaha DD55 to trigger my drum machine because I didn't. I just had I had the drum machine, and so I used a Yamaha DD55 to trigger that. Slowly but surely, I broke away from that to actually getting a drum kit, an E drum kit. I mean, it sucked, so I still was programming into Fruity Loops and triggering that. And I'm still, because I didn't have to work on my timing, I didn't really. I just programmed enough to give the program of the thing a feel of actually being played by a human, different velocities, doom, pa, I mean, it's like different hits, I mean, and then you run it through BFD, and all those different emotions get sampled out at 127 different velocities because they sampled hitting it all the different 127, from the lightest ticket hit to the hardest, and so when it actually sounds realistic, like the music is breathing, and it was really cool. But then I got a continuous control hi hat because it was only open or closed hi hat, and then and if you didn't come off the hi hat pedal right, it gave like a lot of weird sounds, and it didn't sound very authentic. So I was like, oh, I'll just slip in a continuous control. And I got continuous control, like doing like all the stuff like the hi hat. I'm like, oh, sweet, and I go try and program Fruity Loops, and Fruity Loops was like, we don't really recognize that shit. So and it kind of ground everything to a freaking halt. And so I had to sit there and work on my drumming until I could actually play at least pretty close, where I could just use like a quantize on the machine to I quantize the entire song rather than just like I play the verse and quantize it to whatever, so it's in tight, and then tighten and decorate whatever by painting through. Now I have to actually play the stuff, so no big deal, and that's why I would decide to switch from Geared Mode because Geared Mode was very much I programmed all the beats. I mean, I played them, but then I would go through and touch up and clean out any of the stuff out there. So it was very, I won't say robotic, but it's very, very tight and dumb. The UMN is going to be more like the 90s, and it's going to be live drums. If I can't play it, it doesn't go on the album. And if you listen to like on Gearedma, like the last album, there's a Color Me Ugly, and there was like there's a it's a what the fuck do I call that, accordion. There's an accordion on there, and when I was playing back, there's a part, and if you listen to it, it's really sloppy. But it's just really off, and then I come back in, and I thought about going through and moving the notes around because it's MIDI, and I can just move it around, so it's like in time. I'm like, no, that's what I played. That's how bad I suck at it. And if I wanted to be better, I need to do more. I need to do it more. Otherwise, you're just being dumb. And I am dumb, but with a silent N, not a silent B.